USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at USAA.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
Not all meals are created equal. For instance, breakfast has the spicy egg McMuffin for a limited time, and lunch doesn't. McDonald's breakfast comes first. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Breeny Lee, and welcome to the Pep Talk podcast, where we have real, raw, relatable conversations with the pep talk you need. You have the power to create your future with the choices that you make today.
What do you bring to the table? Baby, I am the table. Love yourself a little bit more than that, ladies. Come on.
Dust settles, queens don't. And don't forget, know your worth and then add tax. Period. Why are men intimidated by a strong, independent woman, a woman that has got her stuff together? And let me be honest with you, I was gonna come in this video like, men don't deserve you, need to raise your standards, yada yada yada. And don't worry, I'm gonna do that. Don't worry, I got you guys, But you know, I come for you ladies, and then I come for the guys, okay? You gotta check yourself before you wreck yourself. And this channel, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm gonna give it to you straight, no chaser. I will check the guys later, but let's make sure that we are behaving accordingly, right? Let's make sure that we aren't to blame for this, okay? But last Sunday, I had a conversation with a few men that I know, and also my brother-in-law and my sister, and they gave me some great insight, which I'm gonna share in this video. So, by successful women, the answer is yes, but only some. The rest are turned off by the ego that comes with the so-called success. How, you may ask? I'm glad you asked. Let's give a scenario. A woman comes on a date with a guy that she's agreed to go on a date with, okay? But she comes to the date to interrogate him and to interview him as though she was the prize and he was the contestant. Now, don't get me wrong. Women, you are the prize. Never forget that. You are to be won. But there's a way you go about doing it, and there's a way you don't go about doing it. So with her interrogation, the position she is now playing is a position of offense. So automatically, the guy is going to be on what? Defense. The woman comes to the table, literally, to the date. She comes to the table with all of her degrees, her career, her material items, her own house, her own car, and her beauty. And even if it's not all of those things, maybe one of them, she's come with it and she's like, I'm armed right now, okay? But instead of that woman being humble about all of those things that the mighty Lord has blessed her with, she uses those things as a weapon and a measuring stick to measure if this guy is good enough for her. So instead of companionship, which we all should be seeking for, she puts herself in a position of competition. And unfortunately, this is the kind of world that we are living in now. And before I start, let me be clear. I am a feminist because I believe in equality, equal rights, equal pay, everything like that. I believe that men and women are equal in value, but not always equal in ability. Now, I know some of you guys are going to switch off now, but hear me out. Of course, there are exceptions to all rules, okay? But just because you are able does not always mean you should. Can a woman change a tire? Of course she can. But if a man is present, should she? Should she have to? There are just some things that men do better and other things women do better. Again, there are always exceptions. The reason why women and men are different, because each person's strengths are supposed to complement each other, not compete. And I think we are now in a world where men and women are competing, or should I say women are competing with men. And in the workplace, this works great. If you're working in a competitive job, you're supposed to compete with the opposite sex, period. It works in a workplace. It does not work in relationships. It certainly does not work on a date. Relationships are a team sport. Relationship is not tennis. It's not one against the other like tennis. It is basketball. If you win, your team wins. If you win, your partner wins. If your partner wins, you win. Now, back to the point, okay? So this woman is on a date with a tube stuck up her ass, with her butt cheeks clenched, okay? I'm laughing so much because I used to date this guy, and whenever he wanted me to chill out, he'll be like, unclench your butt cheeks. And I'm just like, you're so rude, like, you're so out of order. But anyway, this woman is on a date and she's uptight, okay? Yes, she knows her value. Yes, she knows what she has to offer. Yes, she knows her worth. But sitting so high up is going to intimidate, listen to me, intimidate that guy, because she is using her status, her money, her looks as a weapon, or she's using those things to stand on top of it to look down on this guy that she chose to go on a date with. Ladies, it is not cute to purposely make yourself intimidating. So I'm gonna get into the flip side in a moment, but let me just say, this is not cute, it is not sexy. Guys, do not find it attractive for you to be intimidating. It's not cute, okay? Intimidation only works for sports. It only works in a case of competition. It does not work on a date. You are not on a date to compete with him. You are not in competition with a man. You are looking for a partner, a team player, a team, what's it called? A team player. Yeah, you're looking for a team player. And we have to understand, ladies, a heterosexual man is not looking for another man. He's looking for a woman, or shall I say a feminine woman. And I truly believe, please hear me out, guys. Please hear my heart, okay? I want us all to find love, and I want us all to be happy, okay? But we have to just be honest. I feel like the reason why we as women feel like we have to compete with a man is because society sees women as weak. They see femininity, they see females as weak. And we don't want to be weak. Especially if we are capable of doing, we are not weak. So we don't want to be seen as vulnerable. We don't want to be seen as incapable. But the tricky part is being strong, being independent, but still remaining soft, gentle, and feminine. I've been seeing a lot of videos on how to be feminine on YouTube. Let me know if you want my take, because I feel like, not to toot my own horn, but I feel like I have the good balance of feminine and masculine energy. I guess I know when to turn off the masculine when I'm out of work and turn on the feminine when I'm around the guy who's actually able, you know? And it's just like, just because I can doesn't mean I should. Yes, I can pay for my own meal. Yes, I can open my own car door. Yes, I can carry my own bags. But when I'm around a man who is, one, willing, and two, wants to do these things, I'm going to give him space to do that. It doesn't make me less of a woman to say, oh, thank you for opening the door. I don't have to square up. I don't have to be like, no, I'm gonna do it because I can. Nah. Sometimes it gets to a point where being strong is boring. Like, especially if you've been single for so long, having to do everything by yourself isn't fun. Like, it just isn't fun. Like, I don't want to do half the things I have to do because I'm single. Do you know what I mean? So like, yeah, allowing guys to be men so that you can be a woman. So let me be clear, there's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with having accomplishments, doing well for yourself, having degrees, having your own place, having your own car, having your own money. Well freaking done. I am so proud of you. Well done. There's a difference between having accomplishments and hiding behind those accomplishments. Like, I personally will never ever boast to a guy about who I am, like online. I'm kind of like the opposite. I really play down who I am. Like, I literally play down who I am, as in my job, to a lot of people. If they find out, then great, but I will never be the one like, yeah, so I got this and I got that and I got this and I got that. Like, literally, that's how you attract leeches and users. And I've been there. A guy knowing who you are and what you do and using you. Like, you don't want to be in that place. I want to feel like who I am as a person is enough. Whether my job was working in a nursery, whether I was a lawyer, whatever my job is, I want to feel like who I am, aside from all of that, is enough. I need a man to love me for who I am inside. not anything else external. So I want to lead with those kind of things. And so I know we all know women who may not be, and it's always hard to say this, let's keep it 100, okay? We all know women that may not be as good as we are, or as successful as we are, or as pretty as we are, and they're in really good, stable relationships. And we're just sitting there like, her. You're thinking, what does he see in her? But listen to me, okay? Most men, this is gonna help a lot of people that are like hustling just to do this. I gotta own a business, I gotta do this. He's gotta see me like I'm a boss bitch. Listen to me, okay? Most men, most good men, do not find value in what you do or what you have. They find the most value in who you are. Okay, you have your own business, but are you kind? Okay, you've got 300,000 followers on Instagram, but are you gentle? Are you nurturing? Okay, you have the newest Mercedes, A-class, but do you have the ability and the capacity to put somebody else's needs above your own? Or are you just plain selfish? Like, I strongly believe that the average man would prefer an average looking girl who may be uneducated, who is sweet and caring, over a masculine, highly educated, yet uptight woman any day. Now, granted, you may meet someone who you may feel like isn't on your level. That is completely fine. I'm not saying go and lower your standards just to have a man. Let's be clear, that's not what I'm saying. But that's why it is so important to date on your level, because when dating on your level, you won't have to come across as demanding or as entitled or things like that, because the guy would already kind of know what your standard is. And I know I'm sounding very I'm just trying to see every point of you out there. Like, I'm trying to put myself into all of your shoes, okay? You may not be able to relate to anything that I said. You're probably sitting there like, I'm not that person. I don't lead with my accomplishments or anything. One of the reasons why men may be intimidated by you is because you're dating down. You're not dating on your level. I'll hold my hands up and say that I have previously dated down because I have daddy issues. I've dated 2 guys who have literally said with their own mouth, I think you're too good for me. Or they're just confused as to why I would even look. It's not even 2. Many guys are confused at why I would even look in their direction. And that's because we weren't equal on many levels. We weren't each other's equal. So now that I finished checking you guys, do you guys feel checked? Oh, that's even something that I had to think about with myself. Like, when I say I'm successful, I deserve this, blah, blah, blah. Am I really saying that from a place of the real self or the perceived self? Because we have 2 selves. We have the one that we actually are, and we have the perception that we've created. So Instagram and social media is good at this, because you're able to basically create what people think about you just by putting some images together. How crazy is that? We're able to actually curate our lives, the lives that we want. I always say Instagram isn't real because it's not our actual lives. It's the lives that we want to be seen living. I digress. I had to check myself and think, do I think I'm this amazing person because of all the things that I do? Am I a human doing, or am I a human being? And it's so easy when you have all these stuffs and you have these degrees and you've worked so hard on your businesses and stuff like that. It's so easy just to be like, yes, I'm that bitch. It's so easy to be like that. And in dating relationships, that's not gonna work, because like I said, if you do lead with all those things that you've done, there are some leechy guys out there, okay? There are guys that are intimidated by you, but there are also guys that will use that as an opportunity to be like, I ain't gotta work. She gonna look after me. I'm just gonna tell her all the things she wants to hear, and I'm gonna leech off of her success. You don't want that kind of energy, okay? So you have to be careful in what energy you're giving out, okay? And like I said, we want to be seen as we are some strong, independent women, which we bloody well are. But do you want to be strong and independent for the rest of your life, or do you want a man to help you, take care of you? Back to the point. So you're probably thinking, okay, I've checked myself. I'm not really that person. However, guys are still intimidated by me. And I feel you, girl. Like, I am intimidating to a lot of guys. They told me in the past, blah blah blah, you're single because you're intimidating. What am I gonna do about it? Here's what I now understand about those guys who are intimidated by a strong, independent black woman. No. Intimidated by a strong woman who has a head on her shoulders, okay? Let me ask you a question. How would you behave if you went into a luxury store and you didn't have the money to buy what you were looking at? How would you feel? You may actually feel quite intimidated. And the sales assistant may come over to you and they will ask you, hi, can I help you? And you'll say, no, it's fine, just looking. Because you're literally just looking. Your window shopper, like we all are, don't get twisted. We all window shop somewhere, okay? But yeah, you're just looking, okay? Because you can't afford it. It will be nice, but you're just looking, right? And if you're cheeky, like you may actually ask them, when will the sale happen? When will the sale happen? But how different would it be if you walked into a shop knowing that the things that you're looking at, you can actually afford? You'd be confident, right? Someone came over to you, you wouldn't feel like, oh, no, I'm just looking. You'd be like, no, I'm fine, thank you. I know what I'm looking for. You'd have this confidence about you because you know you can afford what you're looking at. It's the same thing with men that are intimidated by you. They may look at you, they may like you, but from afar, they'll be like, that's as far as it goes. Because I can't afford this girl. I can't afford her. I'm out of her league. And so this is when knowing your value kicks into place, because you may feel quite rejected. Why is he looking at me but he's not approaching me? You may start to feel quite rejected, you know? This is why you have to know your worth, okay? Like, I know that I am very expensive, okay? And this is how I'm very expensive. I know who I am. I know whose I am. I know what I carry. I know what my purpose is in life is. I am very expensive. I am the king's kid. I'm that expensive, okay? And on top of all of that, I know how much love and stability I can bring to a man. And listen to me, you other expensive women, you cannot put yourself on a sale rack because a man refuses to pay full price for you. I'll say that again. You cannot put yourself on the sale rack because a man refuses to pay full price for you. And like I've said before, your value does not decrease based on someone else's inability to see your worth. The lack of offers or the lack of attention that you're getting is not a reflection of how much you are worth. It's a reflection on the person, whether they can afford it. So, quick story, I went to this Beats by Dre party a few months ago. I was dancing, having a good time, not thinking about any man. No, I was just there, vibes in, enjoying myself, whatever. Then this guy comes over and he's like dancing, doing Afro beats. We're dancing, whatever, vibing, cool, whatever. And then my friend, Nabule, she's just like, oh yeah, that guy's been checking you out the whole night. She was proper gassing the thing up. She was like, nah, the whole night he's been checking you out. So I'm like, okay, I'm not here for this, but I might as well, if he likes me, let me go and talk to him, yeah? So I went to him and I went to talk to him. So I went up there because I'm very confident. I was just like, hey, how are you? And then he's like, hey, how are you? Whatever. Turns out he's from New York, originally from Ghana, and speaks French. So I was like, okay. I mean, like, he was hot. I couldn't hear a damn thing he was saying because the music was so loud, but I was like, yeah, you're hot. Like, let me talk to you. I'm like, whatever. One thing I did hear was him say, would you like to fuck or not? That's literally how he said it. Would you like to fuck or not? And I was like, as I began to walk away, I was like, what? And so yeah, I went back and told my friends and they were like, no, that's dead. And then so the rest of the night I saw him like going around like talking to other girls, like they're all like and I'm looking at him, I'm like, you piece of shit. Like, no, I was like, ew, like that is so gross. But then my friend kept saying, oh no, but he was proper onto you, should have seen the way he was looking at you, blah 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 blah. But I was like, that's not the kind of guy that I would be interested in anyway. Like, he can do one. So anyway, I'm getting ready to leave, so I go to the cloakroom to get my coat, and it happens to be a fur coat. And then he comes swinging around the corner. I can't remember what he said, but he said something along the lines of, oh yeah, this is why I knew like you're too expensive for me. He said something along the lines of like, I couldn't afford you. Like, he was basically saying something like that. I was like, okay, right, I see now. I see what it is now. It's not me, it's you. I don't think you're ready for this, Jenny. I don't think you're ready for this, Jenny. I don't think you're ready for this. My mind's so so that was like a quick, like, shallow story to kind of depict how a guy behaves when he feels like you may be out of his league or he's not ready to level up. Because like, that guy sounded like an F-boy, but literally the way that he looked like a serious guy. He was gorgeous. He was beautiful. Not for me. Definitely not for me. And I'm like, okay, cool. Deuces. Like, no, I'm not too expensive. You just can't afford me. Big difference. But here's the thing, we think that the lack of offers or the rejection is because we are not good enough, or we are not pretty enough, we're ugly, or you're just too much, or you don't have value, when it's actually quite the opposite. You are very expensive. That is basically what self-esteem is. Self-esteem is your self-estimate. How do you see yourself? When your self-esteem is low, you will sell yourself cheap. When your understanding is messed up on your self-worth, you will sell yourself cheap. You will sell yourself cheap. And the Bible is just so wise. I can't even make a video without quoting it. But the Bible says, do not give what is holy to unholy people. Do not cast your pearls before swine. Why? Because they will trample the pearls and then turn and attack you. It's like the guy that says, oh, you're too good for me. Listen to me, girls. If a guy ever says that to you, turn and run for your life. Literally run for your life, because that guy will drag you down, okay? He will drag you to hell. He will drag you so far back, you don't even know who the hell you are anymore, because he's gonna drag you down to his level, okay? If a man says, you're too good for me, listen to him. Honestly, you don't understand how many times I've been saved from a bad situation just by listening to what a guy says. Even if a guy is joking, listen to what he's saying. As it relates to you, listen to him, because he will take your self-esteem, the little self-esteem that you think you have accumulated, and he will rip that shit to shreds. But what about that guy that says, oh, she's too high maintenance? I'm not too high maintenance, darling. I maintain myself. You just can't maintain me. You're too high maintenance. Translation, I cannot maintain you. I cannot satisfy you. But here's first of all, I don't need to be maintained. I just need to be loved. I maintain myself. If I got my nails done every 2 weeks without you, before you, by golly, I'm gonna keep my nails together after we're together. You don't need to maintain me. There's nothing that I'm upkeeping now that I will now pass over to you when we get into a relationship. So that is dumb. Only dumb people say that. She's too high maintenance for me. Okay, goodbye, loser. Literally, bye-bye, loser. We women are very simple. Love us correctly, and we will become twice the woman that you thought you knew, okay? That one was extra for free. That was for the guys watching, okay? Just love us. We are so simple. And if a guy says you're too high maintenance, he's showing his ass. He's showing that he's intimidated by you. You're too much for him. I have accepted the fact that I am too much for some people. Even the way I look is too much for some people. I am a handful. That's why my man's gotta have 2 hands. I need a man that is strong, independent, not intimidated by me, will love me, will not see me as someone that needs to be maintained or to be tamed or to be calmed down. You want to get with a guy that loves you for who you are. Is what I was saying in the beginning of the video. You must lead by who you are and not what you do, okay? Because a man has to love you. Even if all those kind of things went away, that man still has to love you. Does he still love you if you had nothing? That is the mark of true love, okay? So I pray you ladies find a man that is not going to say, you're too much for me, you're too high maintenance, I'm intimidated by you. If you're intimidated by me and I'm not intentionally trying to be intimidated, that's a compliment for me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep my standards high, and I'm gonna find a guy that doesn't see me as intimidating. Intimidating to one man is like, she's perfect to another man. To the right guy, you're going to be perfect, okay? But like I said, let's always check ourselves. Let's always check our hearts. Let's see if we have anything in us that is blocking the right person from coming into our lives, because you don't want to be the person that's holding yourself back from a real, true, beautiful relationship. Well, thank you for listening to this episode of the Pep Talk podcast. It would mean so much to me if you can leave a review, rate this episode, and I will see you in the next one. Stay fabulous, ladies.